embarrassing. I'm not. It was
Yeah.
it's
Wow.
where it's at.
Oh, where it's at. Yeah, that's
That one.
Travis? No. Yeah, I know the one you're talking about. Kind of grungy kind of guy. Yeah.
Oh,
Um. I, oh, I see what you mean. Oh my goodness, am I still coming through grainy?
yeah.
So Restream is lying to me. I should believe my friend.
Uh, so what happened, people, is that
Mm.
I said, "Hey, Darrell, you look kind of grainy." And he's like, "Well," and he went through the specs of his computer and said, "I have this and this and this." And then he said, "Restream is saying all these wonderful things about me and is glowing reviews about my connection and blah blah blah."
Yep.
And
Yep.
he said, "I don't believe you. I believe all what other people are telling me." And I said, "Okay."
And now that I'm looking at the pre-live, the green room, I am grainy. I am like max headroom. So let's just do. I'll be max headroom this week.
Okay.
You know max headroom.
I do, of course, yes. I mean, I've
Some
seen
people.
those oldie uh, movies and TV shows of.
Yeah. Did you ever see the life? What was it? Hijack of a radio broadcast where someone came in and they never solved the mystery of a guy who he was dressed up like he was doing a parody of Max Headroom. He had like corrugated iron in the background to kind of give that really weird sort of lined effect that you have in the actual headroom thing. And he said some like really creepy weird things like about taking over the world or something, and then boom, he was gone. And
This was
they couldn't
TV?
figure out. Yeah, this was real TV in the state, like a Chicago TV show, TV channel or something.
Interesting.
And they, like, there was, he would have to have so many connections to be able to do this because this is not, this is before the age of let's hack a digital channel or something and come in and do
Right.
that. Yeah, and it was just really weird. Look it up,
Interesting.
like Max Headroom takes over TV channel, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll do. But
I'll
I'm
look it up
taking over today.
this afternoon.
I'll be the
Uh-oh.
I'll be the pixelated Max Headroom Mario Kart something from
You still look amazing, even pixelated.
it's an effect that I'm applying which helps to smooth out my
Oh.
wrinkly forehead from all the worry lines.
Oh, well, don't worry, people. We are here to explain stuff. So, Darrell, don't worry. The people are all here to hear you. No worrying going around at all. We're all good.
Not at all, not at all. I'm not even worried. I'm just gonna hit play and just get on with it, right?
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. This is episode 265 of the 365 Message Center show. I am Daniel Glenn, your co-host, and the other co-host over there is...
It's me, Mario.
Nice. Okay.
You'd had to see the green room talk to understand. I'm Darrell as a service Webster. Darrell as a service at your service. I'm coming to you grainy and live from Auckland, New Zealand, and maybe today the pipes are a little clogged from here
Wow.
to wherever Restream picks us up.
So, you did just remind me that I need to have a conversation with your parents because
What?
they went a little wild with your middle name. That's just what I'm saying. So thank you everyone for being here. Let's make sure you give this episode a thumbs up on YouTube or in the audio versions. Make sure you give us some love with a rating. We'd really appreciate
you
the
like-
shares. Yeah,
I mean, we're going to give them an option, aren't we, Daniel?
right. So make sure that you share this episode, please. Just take a copy of the URL, paste it, and say, hey, I watched this and you should too. Thank you very much, everyone. I appreciate that. And we are we've got some different topics this week that we, no pun intended, that we don't normally cover because there's not in the message center. So I'm really looking forward to us diving into those.
Yeah, I think the pun was completely intended. We should whiteboard that and come up with some components to fix that problem.
Okay.
There's your Easter eggs and your hints for what's ahead. Daniel, shall we get into that first episode? I suggest that you cover this topic well.
Aha. Yes, let's get in the first message. This is suggest types for Viva Topics, MC476025. And I started reading this and I was like, this is interesting because Viva Topics is all about, well, topics, right? And a bit of information, a word or a phrase that has information, metadata about it, that brings it all together so that you can find that information and use that information and understand it, right? But this is adding to that the ability to suggest types of information or types of topics, so that when you're looking at a topic, you see a topic, you will see kind of a type of a topic it is. For instance, is this a product, that it has a topic associated with? Is this a service that we provide? Is this is this more of a acronym for a thing on a vessel? If you're a marine organization. So this is, and that's from my past life. One of my past lives, we had something very similar to that. So we're going to be able to have those, be able to suggest those topics if you're a topic contributor. So I think this is, it's metadata about metadata, maybe about metadata. I don't know, but it feels like getting these categories of such, gives us a more consumability, let's call it. I think it makes it easier to understand what it is, and is this the thing that I'm looking for? What do you think, Darrell? Am I on topic there?
Yeah. First of all, I say you're such a SharePoint geek, right? Metadata on metadata. But yeah, I think it is going to be helpful. Like the AI goes through and finds certain things within we interact with stuff that we're creating around certain topics, clients, projects, people, locations, and one I've suggested a topic recently too, so I've dropped that in and created it. But as a landing page or as a collection of topics, it can be a little bland. Like without this categorization, it will be quite helpful to say, look, this is an event, and we as marketing events we put them on, so we want to be able to categorize this event that we always submit content to and all have a stand at, or that sort of thing. Frameworks, processes. Process will be actually really good. Imagine being able to click on that little tag and see all the processes that are topics within your topics collection.
Well, I feel like now, I think you went a next step, and I'm not sure that that's the functionality we're getting delivered. But I think it actually is a great idea. How about letting us click in and find all of the topic, all of the items that have that topic. So we're going to see that at the top of the topic card, which is awesome, right? So we'll see that in frame of where we're working, and on top of the page so this is rolling out, targeted release late November, and completed by mid-December. So here shortly. So you may already have this if you're in your test environments, your test tenants for targeted release, and then early December through to mid-December for standard release. So late November to early December to mid-December. But anyway.
Just trying to make it easier for those who are watching the show. We went through the extra information. There's a blog
Yeah.
post there, so I found the section on it, and I just about the tech community where here's the picture. Okay, let's make it bigger.
Yeah, forget that.
Yeah, but if you squint your eyes or go to the extra information yourself, it's halfway down the page. They've got a picture of a topic called Ellie with 2 1s, and there is a pill-shaped above it that says this is a project. So that's an example.
Indeed.
Very subtle.
Indeed. So I think let's move on to the next message, which is a message in disguise. I feel like I don't know.
What a nice way to put it. Yeah. All right, and it was one of those messages where it was published and then updated very quickly afterwards, which is why we have the updated bracket. OneDrive Android extract PDF pages 475170. Ooh, sounds good. It's something we can do from Android. We can extract PDF pages from within a PDF. And this is something that could be quite useful. Let's say that you've got this 50-page PDF document, and maybe you just want to share an extract of that, or divide it out into its chapters and use it that way. So, users of OneDrive for Android will or can now split PDFs and have PDFs saved back to OneDrive. Beautiful! Sounds awesome. Rollout begin January and will be complete late January. Awesome! Looking forward to it. Not me, though, because I'm not an Android user, but maybe you are. Let's read a little further. Here's the disguise. Haha! You need a special license or something for this to happen. Surprise!
Yeah,
it is a syntax feature. So you need to be a licensed syntax, Viva syntax. Is it called Viva syntax?
Microsoft syntax.
It is a Viva product.
It's Microsoft syntax.
Microsoft syntax. Right. All right, yeah. It's kind of like, yeah, anyway. So the experience, open up in Android, open up that PDF from OneDrive. You can open up this one at the bottom that gives you that extra tray with all the other stuff. And there's a feature on here called Extract, and it has a little gleam on it, a little sort of ding. This is new, or does it mean ding? You've got to pay for this. Like the pen features you sometimes see in apps. Yeah, like this is available, but click here now, and we'll guide you through to the thing that where you have to pay for more. Extract, and look, it is useful. Open it up, there it is. It shows you some of the pages in the PDF. You can select those 2 there that you want to extract out, and you can choose the location, and then once you've saved it, here it is. It's extracted. So remember, it's going to be a good feature. It'll be available in January, but you will need a syntax license. And Daniel, this is one of the first times we've seen something like that for syntax.
For a lot of things. I mean, it's interesting to see a seemingly unrelated feature, right? What's syntax have to do with this? Why is syntax even involved with this? Well, apparently it is, but you would think, that a user might look at this and go, I mean, it's OneDrive, right? OneDrive's just maybe doing a print or something in the background. If you want page 3 and page 5 of this PDF into as another PDF, there are ways to do that on the desktop. So this is one of those, and it's interesting. I'll be interested to see how people are using this and if they're using it. And we will be talking shortly. Maybe there's a message, maybe if we have time, there's a message in the message center this week talking about another one about syntax. So if we don't get to it on the show, that's fine. Maybe we'll do a quick video, but so you can try this out.
Yeah. So let's keep that moving. Tell us about another updated update.
Another updated update. Okay, fantastic. So this one is Viva Topics cards in Viva Connections, MC 475169. And this is, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's talking about having topics, Viva Topics, a card in Viva Connection. Now, what is a card? We're talking about that those in the dashboard, Viva Connections, having a topics card there. So this is there's going to be two cards. One is Viva Topics Discover card that will show you new topics. So you can see the topics that have been added and that you might be interested in, and display those in a card. And then Viva Topics Share, where it's going to show topics to users who may be those managers to review those topics and engage with them. Okay. So you'll need to be an admin of so that you can add that topic or that card to the dashboard. So we need to have that. I think to me this seems really nice because we're going to be able to anytime I don't have to leave one experience to get to other experiences in Viva, I'm a big fan. So having that Discover and that Share card are there. So one thing that I want to highlight is that if you go to the additional information at the bottom, which Darrell is showing on the screen already, but it shows the Contribute card and the Discover card. So in the message, it calls it a Share card. Is it the same thing? I don't know, because it calls it a totally different thing. So not entirely sure if that's the same or not, but it does say on the message that it'll be generally available end of January 2023. So maybe they're going to rename it. I do have it in one of my demo environments, and it is called the Contribute and Discover cards. The two cards are called that. So I'm not sure if the message is wrong or if they're just going to rename it, but just be looking forward to that. And it again, bringing that additional topics information in on your dashboard, I think it's going to be powerful. It'll also be nice if we can extend this and make use of this in our own way, because the configuration of these cards are nothing. I mean, you basically add it and it's just going to do its thing. It would be nice to do things like, hey, I want to highlight a topic or various topics, or show all new topics, or whatever.
Boost a topic?
Yeah. So
let's stick with that same SharePoint language.
Yeah. So I think that would be kind of cool too, but that's not what this is for right now. So this is rolling out, like I said, mid-November and be completed by late December. So that's also different than what is in the message, different in the blog post that's on learn.microsoft, and that's linked. It says by the end of January. So I'm not sure if maybe this message is saying this rollout for mid-November is to late December. Is that a targeted release? I have no idea. We don't know. So this is a bit confusing on a couple fronts, but I do like the functionality for sure.
Yeah. Will be helpful. I think it's nice to see some more out-of-the-box things come into the Viva dashboard, Viva Connections dashboard. If you have topics, of course.
Right, of course.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so let's make some comments. Let's pull out the old whiteboard and do some commenting.
Classic comments or modern comments, Daniel? Because, I mean, classic
modern, of course.
They tend to, but classic tends to just, stand the test of time, whereas modern comments are fleeting. I don't know, whatever. Modern comments and experience coming to Whiteboard, MC477852. Modern comments in Word, PowerPoint. Actually, PowerPoint's probably a good example of this. Before I talk about Whiteboard, we had modern comments come to PowerPoint. In the past, you'd add a comment and then it would always kind of just appear up there in the corner, and you'd drag this tag around on the slide and say, that's what I'm commenting on. And then you might change something on the slide, but that little tag bubble thing would stay where it was. And now in PowerPoint, you can pass a comment on an object, and wherever you move that object, there she goes. Your comment will travel with you. So, similar kind of thing. Modern comments coming to Whiteboard. This is, let's just blow this up a bit here. Blow that up a bit. Whoa, that is a big one today. That's a big picture. Skadoosh. And we are in exactly the wrong position. Here's our whiteboard, and here is a modern comment. So it's pretty blurry, but there's an object here of, it looks like a text box. I'm just describing this for the audience, the podcast audience. And as you hover over that, you've got the same kind of dialog box you would normally see in Word or PowerPoint if you're commenting. You can send the comment. Not sure if you can mention someone inside it, but at least the comment is there. There's another example of a comment further down on the screenshot or image. The comment bubble, before you open it up to read it, appears to have the face of the person who made the comment. So that's quite useful. And then the other thing about it is, like, imagine some of these whiteboards can get huge. And so how do you know like where comments are and what and which? There is a pane that you can click, and it will open up on the right hand side, and it'll list all the comments like you would normally see in a Word document. My hope is that if you click on those comments from the comment pane, that it zooms you over to where that comment is, that object or that position on the whiteboard. But look, it's actually kind of heartened to see more action come into Whiteboard. The last few weeks, Daniel, we've had a few different updates to Whiteboard. You know, loop components come into Whiteboard, and now this as well. I might actually start using Whiteboard a bit more. What do you think?
Oh, look at there. Hi. Another customer. Sign him up, people.
Hey.
I think that's, this is, it seems like, and it may not be true, people, so don't quote me on this, but it seems like this is one of the steps, I'm not going to say first, but of making Whiteboard a first-class document type. I'm not saying it's a document, okay? I'm not. But it just seems, you mentioned it. You talked about Office documents, and with this modern commenting, we can do some commenting other places. So is this bringing it more in line? And I will say, if so, I'm happy about that. Because if we do that, then we could do some other things like, using labels and all this kind of wonderful stuff that we can do, and discovery and all that. If it's just another type of content like video, right? Yeah. I don't know. I'm just, hey, this is extra.
Where are these
people.
whiteboards stored again? Can you remember where whiteboards are stored?
I don't know. And maybe somebody in chat can tell us. I want to say, see, I don't want to say something and sound stupid, but
Azure somewhere.
Yeah, it's in Azure somewhere. Yeah. 100%. It's in Azure somewhere.
Yeah. It's in Microsoft environments.
Right. I was wanting to say it was actually in it's either in Blob or it's in in Mailbox, but I'm not sure. So that's totally guessing.
Oh, someone will have written it somewhere. Maybe. No, we won't quote books because we're not sponsored.
Yeah.
But let's get back to the message. So when is this available? We have beginning to roll out late January, expected to be complete late February.
Oh, I do have an answer. I'm sorry. I'm going to interrupt you. So according to learn.microsoft.com, Whiteboard files are actually stored in the creator's OneDrive for business. So, the things that I was just mentioning, maybe I'm just late to the party of being able to do that. So yeah, that's where it's at. Where it's at.
Stored in OneDrive for business.
Nice. What are you typing?
Creator. Yeah, we just got a no, like breaking news.
Oh,
Come on,
nice.
come on,
Nice. Oh, nice. For those on the audio podcast, he's got a nice little ticker on the bottom of the screen
little
saying
ticker. Yeah,
whiteboards stored in OneDrive for business of creator. Nice. This
yeah.
is breaking news, people.
Breaking news. Sorry, I was a bit slow there on the captions. I will not be working for CNN.
So, what did you talk about when it's released?
Yeah,
When?
totally. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
it's your
Okay.
turn to talk about Visio. Come on, hurry up. It's a quick mention.
Fantastic. This is a quick mention. This is Visio Services discontinuation starting 10th Feb 2023. They couldn't even spell out February. MC 476026. So, for those of you that have been using the Visio viewer, the Visio web part in the on your pages in SharePoint, then you're going to need to switch those out because in February the 10th of next year they're going to discontinue that and it'll no longer work. Now you can use Visio Web, right? Instead of Visio Web Access, this is the new Visio Web. You can embed those on your pages, iframe, in the file type, and there's ways to replace this and listed out here in the message, but you can't. You're going to need to replace those. So take the time now to educate your users, find out where this is being used, so you can replace that. So again, that's February 10th of next year. They're going to have to migrate those web parts to the newer experiences with the Visio web experiences. Okay. So
I'm okay with that.
great. So the Visio Web Access and its web part are going, and then the Visio Web, which is confusing because it's the same two words as Visio Web Access, is high. Thumbs up. So any
Hang on.
what?
Was there a
Yeah.
and then
Yes.
I think I heard that.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
There was
yes.
a difference. If you listened closely, there was an upward intonation of his raspberry.
Well, you know what I think, Darrell? If we could have planned a little bit better on our sound effects, we could have done that. And maybe we would have used loop in maybe a Word document or something to do that planning.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. We would have embedded that in the document. All right. So let me just get these messages in order. Right. It is our last one for today. Loop components in Word. Word Online or Word for the web in targeted base. MC478687. Wow, I was so tempted to make this the headline, but I don't want to saturate the message center market with loop announcements. Oof. This is good, all right. But I do have some questions about explain. Recap: loop components. You can use them in various different places. Word Excel. No, wait. Let me.
Wow, wait a minute.
in Teams, in your Outlook, you can create little ideas, pockets of ideas, paragraphs, lists, tables, all sorts of stuff. So that kind of makes sense. Like you're in a chat and you might start taking some notes together or ideate. All right. Well, what does this mean for Word Online if we take a component from a chat and we drop it into Word? So let's say Daniel and I are talking away and we really should come up with an outline for that workshop we're doing this week, Daniel. You're going to be doing it this week, Daniel, so you left it a bit late. I'll help you out. Let's ideate on this. So we're chatting away, we're in the loop, we've got a little table, so drag our ideas into something of a good outline that makes sense. And then let's bring this into a Word document so that it's easy for us to start creating the content alongside the ideas. Now, Daniel, there's one thing that I find a bit difficult here in the message because I understand the vision. It is about bringing teamwork and coordination and ideas and stuff like that into a document, but compartmentalize quite from the document. And that way we can loop other people in who don't necessarily have to work directly on the whole document. They can contribute to the ideas, and we'll see that live and in the document. But something that kind of emphasizing hearing them is, oh yeah, you'll be able to share these things and you can update easier and faster and it'll be live. I'm like, yeah, we can do that in Word already. So I think we have to be mindful of how to explain this, position it to our people, the differences. And the key difference for me is you can compartmentalize the component from the document. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. This is being able to say, hey, group of people, and think of this as maybe a wider audience. Maybe it's your whole team. Hey, group of people, I need to know your thoughts on this thing. What should the document include? And then remember, this is a loop component that is outside of the document. You're just showing it in the document, right? So it could be in teams while people are adding items or commenting on or editing items. That will then show up in your Word document. So then you could say, okay, content creators, the people that are working on the Word document, get to it. Following, this input that people are putting in here, start editing or creating, the document. I think that's nice to be able to get input from people, but not let them in your document and not have them messing things up. They're just adding a component inside it that you can use. I think it's kind of, I think it's cool. I think we're going to have to, people are going to really have to think of it that way, right, Darrell? Of not get confused about why don't I just put the content in the document itself instead of in the loop. How do you got to remember what that loop does, and that it is a separate thing that you can get input from others on.
Yeah. Another comparison, and I think, using loop within an Office doc like this is, you've got the content in the document, but this is more about coordinating the document and getting contributions from other people. So I know it hasn't arrived yet, but how I would use it is your document starts from page 2. That's where it is, at least while it's in work and in progress. Your page 1 lists out things like tasks, ideas, topics like that, all within the loop, so that it's like your leading page to say, okay, anyone who's going to come and contribute to this document, here's how we're running it here, and here's some references or resources that are related to the document. There's the task list, right? So a quick checklist of, have you done this, have you done that, have you pulled these things together? We do have tasks in Word. You can comment something in the Word document and turn that into a task. So that's more specific to, hey, Daniel, I think this paragraph needs a bit more work. Can you do that? Task, tick, done. All right. But loop is all about that independent from the document and bringing that into a meeting. All right, let's have a quick look at that loop around that important document we're putting together. Who's done what? Cool. We've brought that loop into the meeting. It's live and it's there, or in the chat. Anyway, we've laboured the point. I think the proof will be in the pudding when it arrives, which is rolling out to targeted release users in early December and expected to be complete early February. This message is about releasing it to targeted release. So they haven't given any indication about when it goes GA yet. Indeed. But that is it. Indeed it is.
Yeah, and I did want to make sure I am going to be in Las Vegas at the Microsoft 365 collaboration conference this week. So if you are there, please make sure you stop by and say hi to me in my session or my workshop. I'll have stickers, and I'd love to have conversations with you about the show or about what's going on in your life. So please do stop by if you're there. I like to get to know people.
Have you got like 10 hours or so? Let's just sit down and talk about my life right now.
No, man. Like, I don't want to get to know people, understand, I'm,
Yeah,
I'm
totally.
I'm a nice guy, other than to you.
Yeah. Look, I disagree. You're a nice guy to me as well. No,
Oh,
that's
look at
it. Like these
there.
conferences, don't try and go every single session and miss your opportunity to spend time with people. Have fun with Daniel. Exactly. Thank you, Phil. Let's just drop
Yeah.
that on the screen. Fun with Daniel. Hashtag fun with Daniel at whatever the event hashtag is. Yeah,
I'm
let's
not.
put those
I'm
two
not.
together.
I'm not sure we should, but thank you, everyone, for watching, and love to hear the comments and have the interaction. So please make sure you share on socials and tag us at 365 MCS on all the socials. We'd love to get you involved and love to amplify your messages on those socials. So thank you so much for listening and for watching.
Yes, yes. See you next week. Bye for now.